What's up, everybody? It's Legal Tender. I'm back in the building. I'm back in the vault. Pulled out some notes to make a new video. As always, I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And moving forward, I want to start thanking people who just come aboard and join the channel. So starting today, I want to shout out and thank Charles Atkins, Cornelius Pace, and JJ Coin Hunt. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for rocking with the channel. Every Tuesday is Legal Tender Tuesday. I'll be making a new episode every week, speaking about something new, different, and interesting. And also shouting out the people who just joined the community. So thank you. I'm all over the place with this intro. I need to find a better way to come in, so I ain't finna be too long with this. But if I say something weird and wacky, put it down in the comments so fix me up. All right, let's go. That intro needs some work. But all right, so let's get into today's episode. All right, so throughout my journey of numismatics and my love for the hobby, I've completed a couple of sets, and I'll be speaking about that from time to time. So the notes that I pulled out today is a complete set, and that set is these notes right here. Now, this series only consists of 2 notes, and I refer to these notes as the Experimental R&S Notes. Now, I got a previous episode where I speak in depth about these notes, task and purpose, and so on and so forth. But on this video, I would just be speaking about the completion of this series set, or typeset, or however they address numismatics. I'm gonna just call it a set. So S and R notes, and these are experimental notes. Now, as always, you can tell the currency type up top. Both notes are silver certificates. You can identify the silver certificate, not all the time, but sometimes, but on these notes by the blue treasury seal and the blue serial numbers. Both notes are of series year 1935A. And let's go. All right, so these notes, both of these notes are part of a set, and it's only 2 notes. It's the R and the S note. Now, in the 1930s, the US government experimented with a new type of paper to print currency. Boom, these notes right here. The experimental note was series year 1935A, silver certificates, and overprinted with the small red R and S on the bottom right side of the note next to the treasury seal, as we see right here. Bright red popping R and S. Series year 1935A. Now, like I said, I got a previous episode speaking in depth about these notes right here, but a little quick synopsis is that these notes came into play in the 1930s because the U.S. Treasury Department was trying to figure out a way to extend the life of these notes. So they conducted this experiment, and the S and the R, from what I researched and from what I heard, some people say that the S stands for special paper and the R stands for regular paper. But I've also heard that the S stands for silk and the R stands for rayon. And like I said, the purpose of this experiment was to increase the livelihood of these notes and just the overall printing and manufacturing of U.S. currency. Now, the experiment turned out to be inconclusive because of when the notes were printed, put into circulation, people would see the bright S and R and they were just like, that looks different. I wonder why they did that. So the majority of the public kept the notes. So they just hoarded the notes. And that really took away from the purpose of the experiment, because the US government treasury just wanted these notes to be put in circulation, circulated, and then at some point they was going to do a recall, bring the notes back in, and just look at the wear and tear of the notes to see if it was more wear and tear on the S notes or the R notes. But like I said, the majority of the public just kept the notes, and that led to the experiment being inconclusive. Now, like I said, I researched some stuff, looked up some stuff, and they said that the R stands for rayon and the S stands for silk. And there was a demand for silk, and that the deposit of silk came from the parachutes, because all this, like I said, happened during the 1930s, and we were getting ready to engage in World War II. So we was making parachutes, and then also we have to maintain our military forces, and we need parachutes for training and paratroopers and army stuff. So they was using the silk from the parachutes, and then they used the rayon because it was a more durable fiber. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I researched, and that's what I came up with. I cannot recall the source that I cited, but I seen it in a video. It was like almost a 2-hour long video via YouTube. I cannot recall it. If you know what video I'm talking about, put it down in the comments and put that link to it as well, because that would really give more context to what I'm saying. So that's that with the silk and the rayon. And some people say that it stands for regular paper and special paper. But if it's regular paper, okay, cool, because the components of regular paper is 25% linen and 75% cotton. If this is special paper, what is the components that make up the special paper? Is it 24, 74, and 2% something else? That part right there, I can never get an answer to. So if you know what this S stands for, if it's special paper, what makes it special paper? Put that down in the comments, please, because I would really love some clarity on that right there. All right, so yeah, that's what I came up with in regards to the S and the R. But the majority of the consensus says that it is regular for the R and special for the S. Okay, cool. I'll buy that with $1. But if it is special, what is the components that makes this paper special? So give me some answers, man. Holla back at me. Who pretty good that I be rocking with on a regular basis? Collecting on the cheap, where you at? Talk to me. AP, where you at? Talk to me. JJ Coin Hunt, Cornelius Pace. If y'all got any answers, put it down in the comments. All right, so like I said, on the back, we have a traditional back. Nothing special about the back, minus the motto, "In God We Trust," because these are notes of series year 1935A, and the motto was signed into law 1955 and first placed on a Federal Reserve note in 1957. So again, we got the Great Seal, a traditional back, minus the "In God We Trust" motto. On the reverse, on the obverse, a traditional obverse with the R and S being overprinted, which gives this note 4 print runs, because there's 3 traditionally. You do the back first, it consumes the most ink, and then you do the front. do the images on the front. That's the second print run. Then the third print run would be the emplacement of the treasury seal in the serial numbers. Excuse me. But we had to do, well, the treasury, they had to place the R and the S. So that gives this a print run of 4. Fun fact, there you go. All right, so this series consists of 2 notes, the R and the S note. As I stated earlier, both notes are printed on silver certificates. These are silver certificates of series year, only series year 1935A, 1935A. This experiment was conducted only on the $1 denomination, $1 bill. And as I stated earlier, if not on this video, on the previous episode, that the purpose of this experiment was to improve the wear and the printing of U.S. currency. Notes printed, both R and S notes combined, have a print run of 1,184,000 of both the R and the S notes. The signatures on these notes, to the left, you have the, who we got rid of? We have the treasurer, and that is Julian. And to the right, the Secretary of Treasury is Morgenthau Jr. Same signature on both notes. Fun fact about these notes right here. These notes were printed at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing at the Washington, D.C. facility and shipped and distributed. Well, they were shipped and distributed from the 7th Federal Reserve District, which is the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. To mine, if I had to guess, it would make sense because Chicago is in the Midwest. So to do a somewhat experiment, a controlled experiment, that's what I'm going for. So a good controlled experiment would be pushing it to one location, which was a centralized location because the Federal Reserve District is in the Midwest, i.e. the middle of the U.S. So these notes were able to circulate in a 360 around and cover the entirety of the U.S. I don't know how far these notes went out. Maybe they all stayed in Chicago, but it would make sense to have them in Chicago, the Midwest, and then they just spread from the middle on out through the rest of the country. Like I said, it was a failed experiment because the people seen the bright R and the bright S and they decided to keep the notes, and only 1% of the notes made it back for a good conclusion of the experiment, with only 10,000 R notes being returned back to the Department of the Treasury and 9,500 S notes being returned back. So there wasn't enough notes to come back for them to do a thorough breakdown of the experiment. So the experiment was ruled inconclusive. And the experiment lasted for 2 years. It lasted from June 20th, 1944 until May 22nd, 1946. All right. And that is all we have for the R and S experimental notes. Like I said, a completed set with only 2 bills. So there you go. This may be the shortest set to collect, Because if you go with Federal Reserve districts, that'll be 12. I did one with bar notes, and it's 5 Federal Reserve districts that issued out bar notes. So that's 5. That's 12 and 5. Web notes. Web notes is another one. Because there's three series years that was printed in web notes. So look out for that episode. All right, so that's what we got for this episode right here. Completed sets. Put down in the comments what completed set you have. We may have the same sets, or what you have may inspire me to go out and get that set. All right, that's all we got for this one. Until next time, keep it legal, keep it tender. Talk to you soon.